Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Polkadot. We're going to be taking a look at the technical analysis on the 1 hour, 1 day and 1 week timeframes, and I'll share my thoughts and opinions on what I think is going on here with Polkadot and where I think things are heading next. Now as I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe by tapping the bell and selecting all the notifications. You will not miss another video update. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. The link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out. So let's jump right down into today's video. Kick things off with the technical analysis on the 1 hour time frame. This is Polkadot paired up with USDT and Binance is our data source here. And as you can kind of see, we are on the 1 hour time frame looking actually pretty good. We've got this kind of progressive move to the upside, right? We're above the 200 EMA, we're above the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA. That's basically the white line, 200 EMA, red line, 50 EMA, yellow line, 50 SMA. As you can see, we've kind of, from the previous video, we're expecting a move up, but we have aggressively pushed up higher than we were previously looking here. So to me, this looks like a bigger move, right? As I kind of zoomed out here on this hourly chart, you can see that actually this looks very much like a very aggressive move to the upside, but there's a little bit of overlapping structures. These overlapping structures are telling us that it's not, from an Elliott wave theory point of view, a trend to the upside. It is more of a short-term corrective move from an Elliott wave theory point of view. From a smart money concepts perspective, though, it's in a bullish upward trend. We can see this here with changes of characterization and breaks of structures here and up here as well, right? So we can see them. We can note that these are confirming an upward directional trend, right? So a little bit of conflict of interest between Elliott wave theory and smart money concepts. And then, of course, you've got the traditional elements of you're above the 50 EMA here. You're above the 200 EMA here. And that's also a trend filter. So if you're above the 200 EMA, that's also bullish and you should think about progressive moves to the upside. So Elliott wave theory is either really progressive in the way that it's thinking ahead of time, considering the overlapping structures here. Specifically, if we take a look at this peak here and this low here, this peak here and this low here. Again, you have this peak here and this peak here with this low here. So these overlapping movements, they are showing us that we're not in a trend-based move, okay, from an Elliott wave theory point of view. But everything else is looking like we've still got progression to the upside, right? So smart money concepts is looking good. Traditionally, taking a look at the EMAs and the SMAs, they're all looking good. Okay, so Elliott wave theory could be telling us that actually, although this is a good move, it's short-term movements to the upside. We still need to be thinking about potentially coming down deeper than the 200 EMA. So we're going to be bearing these things in mind, right? Because when you take a look at like smart money concepts, this is great. It's showing you what's happening and what's happened, okay? But it's not really going to tell you what's going to happen, okay? It's not predicting the future. It's only really telling you what's already happened. The same with the EMAs, because they only show you what's already happened and you're trying to relate current price to a historical price movement. It's not really giving you an idea as to kind of where things are heading. Now, of course, if you stay above the 200 EMA, you can continue to be bullish on it, and that's not a problem. And of course, the second that you close below it, then you'll start thinking, okay, well, now you're bearish, right? But Elliott wave theory is basically saying because of these things, such as these highs up here, these higher highs and these higher lows, and the way that they're overlapping each other, it shows us that actually there's going to be at some point a move of a corrective nature to the downside. So we want to be a little bit mindful of those things. Now, when we take a look at this, these current structures here on our hourly time frame, it looks like we're actually still okay for another push up. I don't think we've topped out just yet. This is also an indication from our stochastic RSI. As you can kind of see here, this sharp move to the downside shows you there's a lack of interest in selling Polkadot right now. And so we're going from overbought to oversold very rapidly, right? And from a price movement point of view, we haven't really had a huge move down. Okay, if we zoom in on this, you can see that this move on our stochastic RSI is really just driven from this one candle here coming down. That's not to say that we can't continue going down. You know, we may retest the 50 EMA here, but I think we're likely to see a bit of a push to the upside. Again, you can see that we have this peak here, and the most recent couple of candles here have now overlapped. Okay, we've gone down lower than that peak there. So it's not looking very, very strong from an a wave theory point of view, but I still suspect there's more room to the upside. So what about that target range? Where does it go? Where do we think? Well, if we actually zoom out far enough here, we can see that all of this progressive move here, we had a correction, we then rallied on up. I'm interested to know whether or not these movements here have actually now got us to a point where we are on a 1-to-1 or 1.236 fib scale, considering this move here. And yes, we are. We're right in the middle there. Let's go ahead and make sure that we get this. I want to make sure I get this right onto the wick low here. And I'm just going to pull that right there. The wick low on this particular candle is at $4.01. That's exactly where I have that. So that's good. And then, of course, you can see here, if I just pull this up, the target range for this slightly bigger move upwards was going to be between the 1 and the 1.236 fib scales. That's $5.1.1 and $5.28.2. And you can see that we're right here. I still think we have a little bit more of a push upwards, more towards the 1.236. If we breach 1.236, so higher than $5.28.2, then we're going to be looking at this as not just a 3-wave corrective pattern upwards, but a 5-wave corrective pattern upwards, which would basically allow us to then think about this as a W, X, Y, X, and Z, and would still continue to push up higher, right? However, we'd have to pierce higher than 1.236, and we'd have to head somewhere between 1.236 and 1.618. Okay, now, of course, we can hit 1.618, and that changes the structure again, but for now, we'll kind of keep it within the confines of what we see here. So right now, I guess our next move will be upwards and see whether or not we can be contained inside this 1.236 level below $5.28. Anything above there, we're going to start thinking about more moves to the upside, okay, before we start thinking about corrections. So that's kind of where the hourly chart sits, right? So it's looking pretty good. I'm not too disappointed with my Polkadot holdings at the moment. It's looking pretty good. Now, from a daily point of view, we can see that we have rallied on up and we are above the 200 daily EMA. Pretty good, right? Pretty confident. Now, there is one big problem that I have here, and it's that this isn't the first time that we've actually moved above the 200 EMA, right? You can see it here, right? It kind of gets you thinking, we're bullish now. We've closed above the 200 EMA, right? So we saw this back in February of 2023. We saw it again up here in April of 2023, and now we're seeing it again right now. Okay, now what's the thing here that's rather frustrating is that every time that we came above this 200 EMA, we were overbought on our stochastic RSI. Okay, you can see it here, here, and here, and we are lingering up on that overbought area at the moment. Okay, every time that we've come up towards our 200 EMA, we've been up in this overbought area, and so it's great to be above there, but I'm not confident until we can kind of breach these swing high areas. I'm going to be a little bit cautious here, specifically on the daily time frame. We are looking for momentum to start shifting down on this daily time frame. Okay, although we can push up higher on the hourly, it doesn't look like there's all that much more room to the upside here on the daily. So not as confident. Now, the swing high is $5.76, right? So if we can breach higher than $5.76, then I'm going to be pretty confident in thinking that the bottom is in here for Polkadot. Okay, however, if we cannot breach $5.56, I'm still going to be suspecting us to come back down into one of the kind of areas of accumulation, which would be $3.53 to $4.33.9. Okay, so my thoughts there hasn't really changed. It's still possible to come down a little bit deeper, but this is a Z-wave movement, right? And so for a Z-wave movement, it can complete down here. It can be bottomed out. I'm just waiting for it to kind of get confirmation so that we can be more aggressive with where we think, Polkadot is heading. Okay, so it's okay. On the daily time frame, it's okay, but I'm not convinced about this breakout just yet. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we can sustain this 200 EMA and turn it into support. If we can turn it into a support line, that's going to be great for Polkadot. From a weekly standpoint, as you can kind of see, the area of interest for me has always been this low point down here. This one coming in at $3.53 to $4.12.5, right? This is basically a wick low that we had in August 2020, and we just retested it over here. So this is a great place to be. The problem that we have is that we're up against the 50 SMA, and 50 SMA has been historically resistance for Polkadot here. As you can kind of see, we're we're right up against it again. Okay, now not only are we up against this, we are also finding ourselves up in a heavily overbought area. Okay, we do find ourselves with some divergence here. Let me show you. Okay, so our stochastic RSI is higher with a price that is lower. Okay, so this isn't a good sign. Okay, so just be aware that we are heavily overbought. We're up against resistance. Chances are we are looking to come back down into this range. Now, what would that mean? Well, it would mean that we might see a good 20 to 30% reduction in Polkadot's price. And if we, as I said, on that daily time frame, cannot breach higher than $5.56, it's still possible that we come down into a new bear market low point, which will be very unfortunate because there isn't really a lot of space on this weekly chart to stop a free fall from occurring. So we want to be a little bit cautious here. I have a fair position in Polkadot, as does Chris, and as does most of the cheeky community, right? Polkadot, I think, has the potential. It didn't have a great run in the 2021 bull market, but it does have potential considering everything that is being built out. And, it'd be interesting to kind of see what happens between Cardano and Polkadot in the future as well. So ultimately, I think we've got to kind of get through some pretty hefty resistances. And, I think at some point there's going to be a natural cooling off that occurs, not just for Polkadot, but for the entire crypto space. And that's going to potentially be a last opportunity to kind of get into many of these altcoins should you need to. But I think that's going to wrap up today's video here on Polkadot. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out. Link is in the description below. Until the next one, have a fantastic day.